Okay, so we just wrapped up the aftermath of the Torrent. Now let's do round two of the Monte. It was another good run. Here it is, guys. It doesn't look a whole lot different. As far as repairs from the first run, there wasn't a whole lot. Bent this rear end up a little bit, kind of got stuff out of the way, straightened up some of these rear arms. They were all bent up. Yeah, this corner basically looks about the same as when it went out there. It's maybe heading down a little bit, but I'm not too worried about it. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. That wheel's cocked up again. It'll need another new arm or pulled out, and we'll see what we can do with it. It was good. Check out the GoPro footage from this one. This car ended up with the win. It was about a 20 car feature. Good mix of newer drivers and also some skilled drivers out there. So it was a good win. Not sure what's going on with these cars. I'm having some motor problems with them. They just aren't running right. This thing was underpowered the whole time. I was really struggling to get around. I feel like I could have actually maybe ended things a little sooner if I would have had full power, but I was lucky enough to still be there at the end and still have enough power to wheel around and make that last hit. So I'm impressed. I haven't actually we pulled this off the trailer late Sunday night. It was like midnight. I drove it off track, drove it up onto the trailer. I drove it off to the trailer when I got home and parked it in the shop and haven't even looked at it. So at first glance at the Derby, we did, before we went out, we did repair the buckle in the frame, and it doesn't look like it's moved. It looks like we're doing pretty good there. The Cutlass bumper, replaced it with this Cutlass bumper. It's holding in there. Seems straight. It's not even really, it didn't even really flatten out. It's buckling a little bit there, and that's the idea. That's what I want with these. I don't want these bumpers to fold up in the center. I want them to flatten out here instead of wrecking the rest of the frame. We are starting to go, that made it worse. This frame is starting to go a little bit on top and a little bit between my repair and my bumper plate. Let's see. Yeah. A little bit of a buckle there. Not too bad. I'd rather it wasn't going down like that, but not a lot I can do about it. I don't want to jack it up because you may end up starting to tear stuff. I'll take it though. I think it's going okay. Frame wise here, it looks good so far without opening up the hood. It doesn't look like I did a whole lot of damage to the front end of this thing. I think it was maybe a bit of a blessing that I didn't have full power. It kind of prevents you from doing too much damage. Right from the start, when I went out there, I was sitting at a little bit of an angle the whole time. So from the first Derby, that passenger side strut took a good hit right at the end. And what it actually did, I think, is when it bent the strut, it stuck the suspension up. So the driver's side strut was actually sitting at natural ride height all the time, but the passenger side is stuck up. It wasn't enough that I was going to go and change the strut over, so I went out. It doesn't look that bad. It looks a lot worse now because the back wheel's ripped off on this side. I'll show you that. A little bit of work that needs to be done here. I haven't had a chance to look at the stands footage yet. I'll probably link, one of the other guys was there from YouTube. I'll link that video probably to the in-car video. I might put it below in this description as well, so you can see what happened. I was told that this happened pretty early on, but this is a W body thing. That's what they do. They spit the back tires out and they just keep going. Need a little bit of work. I'll have to figure out something to do with the arms here. It's funny, the only arm that didn't rip is the one that I fixed last time, but it's all sorts of messed up too, so we'll be changing her all out. And then going into it, this corner of the car was a little bit longer, so all it did was push in a little bit to match the rest. But I mean, this thing isn't looking bad. I'm impressed. This is a car that's still got a lot of life in it. Did unfortunately take a bit of a door shot here. I'm not sure if that's the one that I remember taking, but I made direct eye contact with the guy putting a door shot on me. It's a driver, I know, it happens. I gave him a little hand gesture to let him know what he did, and he felt bad. I felt bad. We talked it out, everything was good. It happens, but the last thing you want is for something like that to come ripping through and for that to be your arm. We've all got a job to go to Monday morning to pay for this stuff. So we're just trying to be safe out there. And again, back into the car, I think it's great. I had my doubts during the build of this thing. I found a few surprises. We talked about that in the last video, and it doesn't seem to bother this thing at all. In fact, the light keeps making it worse. This frame rail, I have never done that before on one of these cars. This frame rail actually separated from the body, so I'm gonna have to get a hold of that and bend it up into place and wire it or see what I can do to get it going with everything else, because that's bound to get stuck into something and get me hung up or get hung up on a block or something stupid like that. So I might as well get it out of the way. It's not doing me any good like that. But yeah, very impressed. Inside the car, not a whole lot's moving for a W body. There's a pretty good crease through there, but that's pretty much normal. That floor hasn't moved yet. Seams are still, they're fine. Not coming apart at all. Same with the other side. We gained a bit of garbage in here, I guess. Little bit of, couple gaps in the seam, but like this isn't bad at all. You look down past the garbage, there's another crease up through there. Overall, doing pretty good. Very impressed with this car. How did it end? So there was down to 4 of us. It was having a pretty good battle with the 4 of us. 4th guy went down. 3rd place guy went down shortly after. I come around. I think there was a couple more hits put after that. And I gave this thing everything it had. I laid a good shot into the back of the 2nd place guy and buried this Cutlass bumper into the back end of I believe it was a Pontiac Vibe, and it locked us together. Yeah, it was another ending where it's not necessarily how you want it to go, but that's the way it went. And again, that's Derby. That's just how it happens. We were both trying to get unhooked, and we were locked in tight. So again, I'll take it. It's win's a win, right? I've got a good looking car to fix up. Back end does need a lot of work in the suspension. I've got I got a crazy week ahead of me, so this probably isn't going to make it back on track by this coming weekend. It's already Tuesday night, and I've got nothing done. Hopefully get it out the week after next and try to run a heat and feature derby with it. I don't know if it quite has heat and feature in it, but I mean, you got to sequence your cars, and right now it wouldn't fit to build another car, because then you're left with a leftover car. And I've got parts tied up in this thing. I've got parts tied up in a pro built car. Sometimes you just got to roll with the schedule. Whatever your schedule allows you to run is sometimes what you got to run, not necessarily what you want to. So, all right, guys. We'll catch you, I guess, on the next. Probably be the next in-car for this one. I doubt I'll do any kind of repair video, because again, it's just fixing trailing arms and bending metal. There's really not a whole lot that went wrong. So, okay, we'll catch you on some in-car videos and aftermath number 3 of the Monte.